Hello, my salty dogs and dogettes and soties and Aucklanders and Saffers and Jaffers. Welcome, welcome, welcome again. I've been wanting to film this for a little while, but weather has really not been of the greatest, as you'll see how it looks. I just had to find a nice little quiet spot. Let me know if you guys saw the episode on the English beer batter fish and chips and what you thought of it. Leave a comment, tell us where you're tasting it from. If you haven't done it yet, just go and try it. It's our very first episode. Excuse me, but we've actually jumped the gun a little bit. I was so excited to get going, so I forgot to do a little bit of a stock take. I forgot to make sure that we've got our pantry set up. So just a little note, you don't have to rush out now and go and buy all these bits and pieces. You don't have to go and stock up, but it's always good to have a little bit of a stock take of your kitchen, what you've got, what you haven't got. So it is actually quite nice to just make sure that we've got some very basic ingredients. Living on a boat, obviously, we've got to make sure that we have actually got everything ready, set and go, so that we don't have to run to the shops every single day. So let's make sure that we've got everything, and I have got my co-editor here with me at the moment, so let me just see what he wants. Okay, our co-editor has been a little bit noisy here on the side because as I was saying the other day, I thought I had some stuff in my pantry, and then it just turned out that I didn't have. And we all know what Thought did. Thought if he planted a feather, he would grow a chicken. So let's not try and grow chickens from feathers. Now, I also, a little hint and a little tip, seeing that we want to save money, I make sure that I don't go and buy at the duopolies here in New Zealand. I go and support my local emporium. I go and support my local Asian markets, my local grocer, etc., etc. Because I just find it it's much cheaper to buy all my herbs and my spices from them. Because a little packet at the duopolies is about $3 to $5 for a small little one. I pay roughly the equivalent, anything between $3 and $5, depending on what I buy, and I can fill my little spice bottles and herb bottles up 2 or 3 times. So that just shows you how much you can actually save. So do yourself a favor, go and visit your local grocer, go and visit your Asian markets, go and visit your local emporiums. You'll be surprised at what you can get there. You can have fresh. You can pick out of your garden. You can go and buy fresh at the shops. But I normally have all the dried because obviously living on a boat, it makes it a lot easier. So also, as time goes on, we'll actually be looking at getting some merchandise. We'll be looking at getting some goodies. And also I'm putting together a whole art collection with prints that I'm going to do of photographs I've taken over the years on my travels around, and we might make them available for a limited time offer. There might be 10, there might be 50, there might be 100, there might only be one of a certain one. So I'm playing around with my photography skills as well. So I'm not going to keep you very long this week because last week I kept you quite occupied for quite a while. So let's have a look and see how we stock our pantry. I'm just going to refer to my notes because I can't remember everything. But just so that you are aware, this will all be listed in the description box below. But as I said, don't rush out if you don't have it. Most of the stuff you might already have in your pantry, but it's always good to just see what your stock levels are. Have you still got enough of it? So, pantry stuff. Here we go. Oils and fats. Your olive oils for your salad dressings, for slow cooking, etc. Just remember, mister, don't interrupt us while we're talking. So that's my olive oil. Then you can also use your canola oil. Sorry, you just spotted a duck and we were barking at the duck. So let's start over. Oils and fats. Olive oil, canola oil for high cooking and deep frying. Any other vegetable oil as well. Sesame seed oil, and then butter. I know everybody at this point in time is a little bit like, ooh, butter prices in New Zealand are so high. I like using butter, but if you can't afford butter, normal oil in the kitchen. Then let's move on to grains and stocks. All-purpose flour, self-raising flour, rice, pasta, potato, onion, rolled oats. Okay? Also, rice noodles of any type and kind, and also Maziena or corn flour. Then we are looking at our canned or our dried fruit. You can either have them in cans, or you can actually have them in dry quantities as well, which actually is a lot cheaper. But if you're in a hurry, canned goods are always good to have. So we're looking at canned diced or pureed tomato, canned beans or dry beans, chickpeas, tuna, and lentils. That will be able to do quite a bit. Then some other essentials that we're going to need: white sugar, brown sugar, or as we call it in South Africa, brown sugar, but here in New Zealand it is raw sugar. So you can have raw sugar or brown sugar, but I just have normal raw sugar in the house, white sugar. Baking soda / bicarbonated soda, baking powder, vanilla, cocoa, hot chocolate, custard powder. Always custard powder. You can do so much with, especially if you want to do a quick little dessert. Then condiments. We're looking at salt, iodized salt, either coarse or fine. Himalaya salt, coarse or fine. Black pepper, either the peppercorns or the powder. White pepper or the powder. Then we are looking at your vinegar. I just keep the basic vinegar, monkey. I just keep the basic vinegars, white vinegar. I also keep apple cider vinegar, balsamic vinegar, and I also have malt vinegar as well. If you don't have malt vinegar, normal white vinegar will do, because white vinegar can actually be used for other bits and bobs around the house as well, especially cleaning and getting rid of mold. But that's another story. Soy sauce, oyster sauce, honey, and syrup. Rice vinegar and rice wine sauce, as well as fish sauce. And then we move on to dairy. Milk, cream, cheese, not cream cheese, cheese, cream, milk. And then we are also looking at your eggs. I always keep a little bit of milk powder in the house as well, because if you run out of milk, you've got something, and you can actually use milk powder as a substitute for milk if you want to do it a little bit cheaper. Now, the very long list of spices. We're looking at garlic, ginger, cumin, paprika, chili powder, oregano, nutmeg, bay leaves, cloves, mixed spices, turmeric, vinegar. We'll go and walk now. Sorry, I'm just being told off that I'm taking too long. I need to hurry up. Turmeric, curry powder, garam masala, coriander powder, as well as the coriander kernels. Okay? I normally use the curry powder, the Raja, which is available It is available at the South African store. You get them hot or mild. That's my go-to curry. You can use any curry, but that's my go-to. Then we look at your herbs. Oregano, thyme, rosemary, parsley, basil, mixed herbs, curry leaves, mustard seeds, cardamom, chili flakes, and star anise seed. That is it. If you've got that in your kitchen, we can cook up a storm.